What's up YouTube, I'm just another guy and welcome back to the Welsh Way here with Aberystwyth Town. So here we are now, the end of season update. And yep, no live com, which means we didn't go through a season undefeated yet again. Another BS defeat to TNS. We dominated everyone all season long. All of a sudden we were 3-0 down after about 15-20 minutes of the game. And I was like, what? What? We even had more of the ball and more shots at that time. And I was like, whatever. Knew it was going to come. Typical how our season had gone. So let's look at the league and how it actually wrapped up. So Bala will be in the Europa League, as well as I think Ryle are in it. I think Ryle get in it if we lose that final. Yeah, they are. So yeah. So the teams in Europe next season will be us in the Champions League, TNS, Bala and Ryle. We ended up winning the league with 87 points, scored 103 all season long, only conceded 10, so really good defensively. I think it's our lowest, isn't it? Match last season. Wait, what? Oh yeah, we actually matched exactly what we got last year. That is absolutely crazy. I didn't even know that. Talk about consistency, jeez. The exact same amount of draws, wins, goals for, goals against, of course goals difference as well. But yeah, the league is very, very easy now. It's good to see TNS are still getting second place. It may sound strange, but the better other teams, the other teams that enter the European competitions can do, the better it is for the league. And overall, I want to help the league as well as myself. And with the likes of, Bala consistently getting in Europa League now, I think it's their fifth year in the Europa League consistently. TNS have been in it all the way through. The money that they get will help grow them and help them get further in the competitions. And that's overall, will benefit me, as then it will make the league a better reputation, make everything better, and then we can, get later qualifications and entries into the actual Champions League itself. But let's talk about the league in the context of Europe. So we've increased its reputation. We're now the 42nd best league in Europe, up from 54th. So now the top 50. Get in there, just below the Championship, the Jupiter League, the Scottish Championship, I should say, above the Swiss Challenge League, which is the Swiss Top Division, above the Icelandic Premier Division. So we're getting up there now. As you see, League One is in our grasp. I think we can probably go above League One, maybe even get 2.5-star reputation next year if we can have another good run in Europe. We had a decent run this year, but not as good as last year, of course, but still relatively decent to get to the knockout stages of the Europa League. Still puts us in and amongst, the top. I don't know how many teams get in the Champions League, how many teams get through to Europa League. That's about top. I don't know how many teams get in there. It's like 32 in the Europa League, and then 16 in the Champions League. So around top 50 teams in Europe there. So that's overall good, and we're now climbing up there. In terms of our qualification places, we have also grown. We are now 21st. I don't remember where we were last year, but we now have all three of our teams enter the Europa League in the second qualifying phase. So that is really, really good news for the other teams entering. It means that they all pick up, I think it's like 180k for being knocked out of the Europa League at that stage, which is a massive amount of money for most of them teams, especially likes of Ryle, who don't typically get in the Europa League. But it also means we're not too far off now of maybe getting another qualification place into the Europa League. I mean, let's have a look. We're 21st, and 15th is where it's at, and I believe we were somewhere around Serbia and Slovakia, because I think we had two teams entering the first and one team entering the second. So if TNS can have a good run, get past their entry round, if maybe another team could be fortunate enough to do that, like Bala, and obviously we want to get to the group stages again, that will just help us go up. Maybe next year we'll see a team enter the third, maybe even the playoffs. I think it's the third though, is more likely. But yeah, we're doing very well in terms of gaining the qualification places there. The club itself, we're nowhere near reputation ranking of anyone near here. Financially, again, I was looking, we're nowhere near. I think we'll have a look at Wales in the context of Wales, but we're nowhere near there. Coefficient ranking though, coefficient points, we are now, where are we? We're now the 59th best team in Europe according to coefficient points. So that is incredible. Absolutely incredible. We're now top 50 teams in Europe as well now. Not in terms of reputation, but in terms of how well we've played over the recent years. And to be surrounded by the likes of Southampton, that team I couldn't pronounce earlier, Dynamo Kiev, we've got the likes of Udinese, Napoli, Feyenoord, Hoffenheim, Rangers are only a little bit above us now. Another sort of quarter-final Europa Champions League as we see here, and we could be getting 20 plus added on. That could put us into the top 40. So we are one of the best teams in Europe around. We just need to show it. I really do feel we should be getting to the knockout stage of the Champions League now. If not, we really should be. If we're getting to the Europa League, if we're forced into the Europa League, we should be getting easily called to semis, and if not, a final of that. So let's look at Wales. We'll have a little look in the context of Wales. We won the treble. I don't think I actually mentioned that, but we did win all the other cup competitions. I think that's a pretty given though. But yeah, we'll look at everything in Wales, the context of the club and things like that. So reputation-wise, we're now a 2.5-star team. So the best reputation in the whole of Wales, and good to see that we've reached that stage now. Hopefully, a few more players will become available to us with that additional reputation. Elsewhere, TNS a 2-star. Ryle a 1-star team. Ideally, I would prefer Port Talbot to be in Europe, just so we have our top 4 reputed teams in Europe, and that way they can use their money best, in investments and things like that. So, but either way, very good for us there. And financial-wise, we have 11 million in the positives. TNS are currently in the process of selling their club or changing owners. They're not selling their club; they're bringing in a new takeover. I don't know who it is. It's one of their board members. They don't currently have a board member, but apparently it's he's handing it over to someone, the chairman's. So unless there's new investment there, I still don't really see them challenging us unless there is major investment there. So yeah, that's all good for there. We'll have a look at the player stats in the league now. So we typically play a second team in here. In the league at the start of the season anyway. The latter stages of the season, that gap between the group stages and the knockout round, we played our first team, or what I would say is the team that I want to develop and what I reckon will be here next season. And then once we get to knockout stages again, I'm trying to rotate it. I think I only rotated the team once because it was sort of like we played on the Friday, we played on the Thursday, no weekend game. So in the end, we didn't really rotate the team too much this year in comparison to the year before. But still, you see that we have got a lot of people all around the board here. So average ratings, Hunter, O'Connor are all above 8, and then Scott, Drake and Fernandez were just below them. Average minutes per goal in James, I think he only played a certain amount of minutes. Yeah, he didn't play a lot, but he scored a lot of goals when he came on. Hunter picked up 14 assists, and O'Connor picked up 18. Actually, that's something I wanted to check as well. Champions League. I'll go through this one again. We played the matches. O'Connor got 5 clean sheets. Ed Hartnell kept 23 clean sheets, and as a result, he's now wanted by, I think it's Aston Villa and Rangers, I think were the 2 teams that have been coming in for him. Now it's added to that list: Ipswich, Wolves, Sheffield Wednesday, Brighton, Barnsley. He's currently not for sale, but really, if the right deal came in, I would be willing to sell him, depending on if the new keeper comes in and can compete with him and match him. But very good keeper here, and I'm surprised how good he is. And well, for the league, he's going to smash it up. But just whether he does well in the Champions League and European competitions will be the big question placed on him this season, anyway. But yeah, we'll look at the team quickly. How many? What's our salary per annum? We spend 4.65 million a year on our wages, which is quite a hefty amount, especially when you compare to the likes of Airbus or Ryle, who are going in Europe next season with a wage budget so insignificant in comparison to us, much smaller. So average attendance, what are we averaging? We're averaging about 750 people, which is massive. Wow, Ryle have quite a big support in as well. Maybe it is a good thing that they're in Europe with that big backing. But this is why we can't get a new stadium. Still only filling out 15% of our stadium in typical league games. We need to get that up to around really 80, 90 before I reckon the board will take anything, into consideration. We don't sell out. No one sells out in these Welsh divisions. But yeah, what I wanted to check, what I was interested was seeing Hunter here with his 14 goals and O'Connor with his 14 assists, and O'Connor with 18 goals and 20 starts. And actually, I want to show you something on goals. Hunter was there with 16. Sousa, who only actually played, I think it was like 9 league games. Well, 13 league games, he scored 13 goals. He tore up the division in the short time he was here. We absolutely smashed him. And even on assists as well, I think a lot of people picked up high amount of assists. Look at that, 666. Not the devil number, just 3 people getting 6. Lewis with 8, O'Connor 10, Jenkins 11. But yeah, with Hunter, he was the he broke the record, didn't he, of most assists in the Champions League. If I want to go to the Champions League, I'm going to have to click on Europe, aren't I? There we go. So yeah, he broke the record for Champions League, but did he finish? I can't see the stats. Did he still have that record? He does still have that record, so he must have finished with the top assists in the season. But if we, something I wanted to show you, because I looked this up before recording, is Golden Boot. Yassin Benzia got 13 goals in 12 games. Christensen picked up 11 goals in 12 games, and then Trustful picked up 9 goals in 8 games. If we go on Will Evans, and we go on his record, and we go on form, and we go Champions League, can we not do the Champions League? You could do the Europa League apparently, but if we go on his history, okay. So in the continental competitions this year, he played 11 games, 1 substitute appearance, scored 12 goals. The only games we played in the Europa League were the ones against Besiktas, where we lost 1-0 and 2-2. He scored 1 goal in that. So therefore, he scored 11 goals in the Champions League, but because he played the games in the Europa League, he didn't get added in this top 3. Theoretically, Will Evans was the 3rd highest goal scorer and should have been 3rd in the Golden Boot for the Champions League, but because he played in 2 Europa League games, he didn't get included in that. So that I'm really quite annoyed with that. He should have been there, and his value should have skyrocketed. The club reputation would have been gained because of that. That's just really annoying. He should be there in it. I'm surprised that the game's sort of messed up like that. But anyway, that whatever. That's not really a major thing. Another thing I want to look at actually is awards for Wales. Didn't come anywhere in Football of the Year, but in Young Player of the Year, we had Will Evans come in 2nd place with really good average ratings, loads of goals scored, loads of assists. Came behind Kyle Sommers, who, wow, what a brilliant player. Not sure about the pedo moustache, but a brilliant player nonetheless. So, yeah, he probably deserved it. Whatever, he's a good player. I'm not too disappointed he lost out to someone that's actually a decent Wales youngster. Because before we've sort of lost, especially at the beginning years when I was first here, we were coming 2nd place to people that weren't really playing in decently and things like that, and overall frustrating things. How can Carl Klopp be a player that 21 years of age, and then 7 years later he's not even in the game anymore? He must have retired. That's a shame. But yeah, that's it for the awards and everything. That's it for the league. But for the club itself, going forward, because I won't actually see you until the Champions League group stage draw, hopefully, because I don't plan on doing the qualifications anymore. I'm still sort of debating over the group stages, but I thought I'd go over the team and sort of where I want to strengthen and things like that. So, top goal scorer, we'll go like this. Top goal scorer, O'Connor scored 30 goals this season, all competitions. Evans 26, Hunter 22. Hunter was incredible this year, and because of that, I'm not even going to bother looking for a left mid. It's probably one of our weakest roles according to ability, but he's just playing so well, I don't see the need to do that. And elsewhere, Sousa got 18. I think he'll be a real force next year in all competitions. Armstrong got 12. And Jenkins got 10 as well, and a load of our players scored. Assists, 33k from Hunter, really incredible. Jenkins got 18, who's going to be our first choice right mid next year, as well as Lewis, Armstrong, O'Connor, Evans, a lot of people chipping in again. Player of the match is, the fact that we've got so many player of the match awards is just a great thing. It shows that when we play well, someone in our team is picking up player of the match. I'm sure if you added that up, it'd probably come to like all the league games, apart from one. Because I haven't actually showed the fixtures. I'll look at the fixtures a little more in a second. And also, average ratings. So many good average ratings there. A little bit disappointed with, not you because you're out on loan, but I was a little bit disappointed with Bowen. I thought he could have done a bit better when he played. Nathan Green didn't play particularly well, but he was only such a minute role at the club. You sort of expect it, when you're not playing first team football, it's hard to get good consistencies, and you're only getting like 20 minutes at the end of matches. Your ratings aren't exactly incredible unless you score. But yeah, that's it for the players really. But the squad going forward to next season, I think this is going to be our starting 11. I don't really see myself strengthening in too many areas. I want another centre back with Duffy and Shawcross going out. I do really want another centre back coming in, partnering alongside Carl and Drake. McNaughton is alright. He's played well in the league, but sort of same principle with Hartnell. They've not proved it in Europe. They haven't really played in Europe before. I think McNaughton has the ability to be a very good player. He's got great determination, work rate, and teamwork. But I don't think he's ever going to really have the stats to be competing for continental competitions, for Europa Leagues, for Champions Leagues like I want him to. So I don't really see much there. Elsewhere, though, I'm happy with really everywhere at the club. Like I say, apart from the centre-back roles, probably next weakest area is left mid. But how well he's done, the fact that he's broken that record in the Champions League, to me, says that we don't need another one. Torre's coming in next year as a first-choice centre-mid. Banningham's going to take a backup role. But here's a little look at our second team as well, I guess, because the first team's looking pretty predictable. Second team next year is going to look like this. We're getting a new goalkeeper in anyway, so that won't last too long. I'm looking to bring in another right-back. Centre-back's already spoken about. Like I say, I want to bring in another centre-back. But apart from that, everyone else is pretty standard. I'm happy with. I'm even happy with Crompton to play on that left mid role. Someone you won't recognise here is Joe Pearson. I mean Joe Pearce, not Pearson. Joe Pearce, coming from our youth intake, was the best thing we got. Got some decent target man stats, really. Overall, not a bad little player, but shame we're not really improving in our youth intake as much as I would like. But hopefully that will change. So we've got 2 constructions currently underway. We've got new youth facilities and training facilities being built. We ended up spending 5 million on them both, so our balance is currently 11 million. That will obviously skyrocket once we start entering the Champions League again. But that'll take us to whatever the next level is. Currently we have great and good training facilities and youth facilities. Hopefully that will, like I say, grow into some like superb or whatever the next star rating is that I currently have. What is my current star rating? 3.5 stars, so that'll grow to 4-star training facilities and I thought it'd say youth facilities there, but it doesn't. But yeah, let's have a look at our coaching, our star ratings there. I would like to bring in another fitness coach and maybe shooting coach, but apart from that, all coaching areas are at a good enough level, and maybe handling as well, but they're alright. They're not terrible, 3.5 stars is pretty good, really. It's going to be hard to find anyone better at this reputation. But yeah, I think this is going to be it. I don't think I need to cover anything else. I think Will Evans was added on the legend list here. But I don't think anyone else was added. Yeah, I don't think there's actually anything else I really need to talk about. Did we win the Youth Cup? We did. We won the Youth League. We won the Youth Cup. We won the Reserve Cup, but we've done that for so long now. Look at that. So many years in a row. What year didn't we win it here? 2021 we didn't win the Welsh Cup, but we've done it so often now. We've got the best youth, the best team, the best everything. We are the best in Wales. We just need to make sure we become the best in Europe. So I'll meet you guys back for the Champions League group stage draw. Hopefully if we get there. If not, Europa League draw. I mean, if we don't get to Europa League group stages, we've had a poor season already, and it won't be something I look forward to a year without Europe. But this will be it for now. If you enjoyed the episode, make sure you give it a like, and until next time, peace out.